My name is Grace Hudson, and I will be discussing and explaining some strategies teachers can use to make their classroom more inclusive, innovative, and equitable, including naming a novel to be used and the theme that is associated with that novel, and giving a bit of insight on how to teach that theme. Two things a teacher should consider about her learners are the theory of multiple intelligences and scaffolding. Firstly, Howard Gardner proposed that the traditional psychometric views of multiple intelligences are too limited, so he outlined various types of intelligences in which students might possess natural abilities, for example, visual, spatial, and musical intelligences. As a teacher, this information is useful because you will know how to cater to each student's natural abilities while helping them develop others. This makes your lesson even more dynamic and effective for students because it represents their gifts and interests. Secondly, scaffolding refers to the support teachers offer when students are transitioning from one level to another. Grand Canyon University 2022. It is described as I do, we do, you do. The teacher first shows how something is done, then there is guided practice by the students, and then the students work on their own. This would have been practiced in the lesson plan, but as students enter grade 9 during the zone of proximal development, Vygotsky 1962, they will have to develop more analytical skills. It is important to have faith that this method would support them adequately in and out of the classroom. Equal opportunity or equity in the classroom is essential. Here are two ways to ensure students are given equal opportunities. Firstly, as a teacher in a changing world, you should always be ready to adapt. This includes frequent introspection and checking your biases. When dealing with students of all economic or socioeconomic backgrounds, skin color, beliefs, lifestyle, a teacher should ensure that she doesn't have any unconscious biases which hinder her from connecting with diverse students. Grade 9 will welcome many changes in the young teens which will even leave them confused. They might challenge you in their quest for purpose, but you have to ensure you aren't hindering them from finding themselves by mentally shunning them because of your preconceived notions. Secondly, collaborative learning has enormous benefits on the learner. Students with various learning styles and gifts can contribute equally in some way when they are placed in groups. These groups learn conflict resolution, communication, and encouragement to work together for positive reinforcements. The teacher should ensure that the groups are mixed and balanced to help each student develop their weaknesses and emphasize their strengths. In the book Animal Farm by George Orwell, the animals were disgusted by the way they were being treated by their farmer. So they devised a plan to revolt and seize the farm. After the revolt was successful, they began to experience some conflict among themselves. The pigs, specifically Napoleon, began to rain terror on the animals to be their new dictator. He treated them worse than the farmer by exploiting them and killing them to command subjugation. He even betrayed them for the very humans he shunned. One of the themes that stood out in the book was the exploitation of the uneducated animals. Majority of them including Boxer, a faithful horse who was not literate, so was able to be deceived. Before his death, Old Major dictated several rules for them to follow, which ensured their safety and equity. Napoleon partnered with Squealer to change the rules to suit them and then spreading misinformation to the susceptible, illiterate animals. This emphasized the need for education for the general public so they will not be swayed by rumors and propaganda from power-hungry leaders. Orwell revealed how ignorance makes you impressionable and gullible, which leads to exploitation because you do not know better. One of the issues is the abuse of power. An activity to engage students can be to write a 5-minute persuasive speech for or against Napoleon's method, discussing the extent to which they agree or disagree. The class can be divided up into half for this activity and be required to deliver this speech at an in-class political forum. The goal of this activity is for students to research similar leaders and their methods of rulings and analyze the issue of power-hungry people. They will also need to use the novella as a reference, and therefore this will encourage them to read and understand. It will help them to discover different types of leaders and what are the most effective leadership. And even if they disagree with the point to which they're arguing, it will help them to develop an awareness for opposing opinions and appreciation that they exist.